Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Liz and Lucky's weekend getaway goes wrong. General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, March 27th hint that a weekend getaway will go badly, while Nina Reeves anticipates trouble and Rick Lansing apologizes. For begin, Alexis Davis will persuade Rick to come to her office and apologize for their recent disagreement. Alexis and Rick may agree that they should try to accept each other because it will make things simpler for Molly Lansing Davis. Speaking of Molly, it appears she will be looking for more than her strained, shaky connection with Kristina Davis. These sisters haven't shared a solid bond in a long time, but Molly may be able to change that. Although Molly will give Kristina an out if they aren't on the same page, she will most likely hope they can finally put the past behind them. Of course, actually moving ahead will be tough for Kristina, especially given her grief over the baby's death and her rage toward Ava Jerome. Kristina will eventually tamper with Ava's car in order to permanently stop her. Ava plans to talk to Nina about her new viewpoint on Sonny Corinthos. Nina still cares about her ex, so Ava will definitely avoid praying for a tragic Sonny outcome and Avery Corinthos' inheritance in front of her. Having said that, Ava might bring up Sonny's recent collapse and the fact that he appears to be dealing with some health issues. However, Ava may make things vague, leaving Nina to wonder what is actually going on. In any case, Nina will be on the lookout for trouble and will provide Ava some warnings. Next, Lucky Spencer will meet with Elizabeth Baldwin and sell her on a weekend getaway. Liz might agree, but this trip will not go as planned. In fact, this journey is unlikely to occur at all, as it appears like Elizabeth and Rick will be drawn into the collision that Kristina is about to instigate. That crash is coming before the end of the week, so GH fans will want to keep tuned. In the meantime, Isaiah Gannon will become closer to Jordan Ashford, but he should be wary of her Jen Sidwell ploy, especially if she reveals any new information. Meanwhile, Sasha Gilmore Corbin will meet up with Felicia Scorpio, who will cause some embarrassment with her recent queries. That could make it more difficult for Sasha to conceal her baby's true paternity, or she would struggle to explain the new nest egg Sidwell gave. Over with Brick, he'll have some important updates for Sonny and Jason Morgan. Brick will have some information about the guy who almost wiped Michael Corinthos off the map. Following the hitman's trail could lead to a big reveal about who sent him after Sonny and blew up the penthouse. However, Jason will be uneasy in Thursday's episode. Jason will express his concerns regarding either a new strategy or Sonny's surgical postponement. Other General Hospital teasers state that Brooke Lynn Quartermain will confront Harrison Chase after he paid Lulu Spencer a visit to scare her. Chase may have no regrets, but he is determined to safeguard Brooke Lynn and the secrets she keeps. Brooke Lynn should be grateful that Chase stood up for her, but she may be concerned that Lulu will retaliate if pushed too far. Chase will learn that keeping the news about Dante Falconeri's baby a secret will be difficult. Although Chase will forecast a solution to the deception, other problems may arise. Jason trades himself in for Jocelyn. If there is one thing we've learned about Jason Morgan over the years, it's that he is willing to put his life on the line for Carly Corinthos. Would he truly swap himself for Jocelyn so he may take her place in the WSB again? This is what General Hospital viewers want to know. General Hospital spoilers. Jason trades himself in for Jocelyn. General Hospital readers speculate that Brennan's ultimate goal may be to get Jason to join the WSB. Jason and Lucky were even approached about this proposal. And while everyone knows Jason is still very much drawn to Carly, she will go crazy if she finds out what Brennan did with Joss, which is why he wants to trade himself in for her. But whether Brennan will agree with this proposal remains to be seen. As you can expect, General Hospital fans have had a lot to say about this theoretical theory. Some have even stated, he might want to trade himself for Joss, but I think she's really enjoying the whole WSB thing. Another admirer commented, maybe, but I don't want Jason to go anywhere. They're setting up Sidwell to be the next villain, which should keep Jason and Joss in town. Joss was needed in her youth, so I expect something will happen with the colleges. There was also this comment, I know some people like Brennan, but I do not. He's very dishonest. He claims Carly is the love of his life, but has no regard for her children, any of them. He enabled Cyrus to nearly kill Michael just to see how Jocelyn would react. We all know he's being dishonest with Joss, and if he truly loved Carly, he wouldn't put her in risk. Isaiah sizzles Lucky's romantic proposal, Brick's fiery lead. On the next episode of General Hospital, romance, discovery, and remorse clash in a flurry of drama. General Hospital spoilers reveal. A preview clip has been posted for Thursday, March 27, 2025. It depicts Isaiah Gannon and Jordan Ashford sizzling. Lucky Spencer invites Elizabeth Liz Baldwin to go on a trip. Rick Lansing issues an apology. In addition, Brick believes he knows who burned Michael Corinthos. Continue reading and let's discuss what's coming up on the ABC soap drama. Isaiah Gannon sizzles. On Thursday, March 27th, fans will witness Isaiah and Jordan become closer. This slow-burning affair has been going on for a long, but the two haven't made it official yet. Jordan has opened up to Isaiah and will continue to do so. In reality, the sample video starts with Isaiah and Jordan very near to each other. The good doctor claims that if he had known, he would have had more fun sooner. Brick's fiery lead. In today's episode, Brick is expected to reveal some disturbing information to Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan. Brick rushes in when Jason and Sonny are discussing. Brick informs the mob leader that he has a lead on who burned Michael. Ava Jerome's risky scheme. Ava Jerome recently learnt Sonny has a medical problem. Instead of being apprehensive about Avery Corinthos' father, Ava squealed with delight to Rick Lansing. That could help explain Rick's apologies later in the preview footage. Perhaps Rick is as shocked as the fans are by Ava's excitement at her ex's health concerns. Then Ava goes to chat with Nina Reeves. Ava tells her acquaintance that she sees Sonny with fresh eyes. Nina has always cared about Sonny, especially after the Nixon Falls tragedy. So, if Nina believes there is something wrong with the mob boss, she may take action. At the same time, Nina's principal emphasis is currently on rescuing Willow Tate Corinthos from Drew Kane Quartermain. Lucky Spencer's trip. On today's episode of General Hospital, Lucky will offer a recommendation to Liz. Lucky will inquire if she would want to go away with him this weekend. The nurse has a huge grin on her face, so of course she will leave. However, it appears that Lucky and Liz may be engaged in the vehicle accident that Kristina Corinthos Davis orchestrates. Kristina's intended target is Ava, but there will be collateral harm. Thursday, March 27, 2025. Harrison Chase tells Brooklyn Quartermain in the preview clip that he will have to get accustomed to it. This acceptance could be regarding Dante Falconeri. In addition, Molly Lansing Davis tries to reason with Kristina. However, it appears that Kristina sees Ava as a serial killer in the making. Kristina repeatedly stated at the baby's grave that Ava will continue to take the one she cares about. Kristina appears to view her future crime as a necessary deed, so ready yourselves for the consequences. Willow will return begging Michael's forgiveness, and here's why. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Willow Corinthos will return to Michael Corinthos. Willow has been sleeping around with Drew Quartermain. However, spoilers indicate that Willow will undoubtedly crawl back to Michael, asking forgiveness. Here's why we think she'll want a reunion with Michael. Willow Corinthos finally recognizes Drew Quartermain's faults. Drew tried to sweep Willow off her feet while she was doubting her marriage. Of course, Drew focused on Willow while Michael was otherwise occupied. Michael has a complicated life, especially with Sonny Corinthos, and he doesn't let Willow know much about it. Willow and Michael merely tried to protect each other. They did not hide secrets for evil purposes. Michael tried to offer Willow whatever she desired. Unfortunately, Willow preferred to hunt for greener grass, which wasn't always the best option, as she discovered. Willow will soon realize how silly she was to end her marriage for someone like Drew. Willow Corinthos will not allow Sasha Gilmore to win. Obviously, the father of Sasha's baby will be revealed. Willow will undoubtedly be unhappy at Michael, despite the fact that she is to blame for this. Willow is more inclined to blame Sasha than Michael. Willow would very certainly blame Sasha of seducing Michael, despite the fact that this was not the case. One thing is certain. Willow will not allow Sasha and her child to have Michael. Willow will find a method to reunite with Michael to prevent this from happening. Michael will eventually recuperate and return to his home. Willow will ensure that she is the one waiting for him when he arrives. After all, Sasha intends to raise her child alone. Willow Corinthos wishes to make her children happy. Willow is going to have 2 children who want their father back in their lives. Wiley and Amelia Corinthos are not likely to be pleased with Drew as their new father. When things fall apart, Willow will realize her mistakes and desire her family back together. Willow is likely to feel guilty about disrupting her children's life by abandoning their father. Willow would undoubtedly want to reunite her family if Sasha decides to allow Michael to be a father to their child. Willow will not give Sasha the opportunity to be with the kids like Drew was. Willow may finally start using her brain and understand that everyone has been correct about Drew all along. Will Willow ultimately realize the truth about Drew? Liz and Lucky's weekend getaway goes wrong. Introduction. Liz and Lucky have been looking forward to their romantic weekend getaway for weeks. Both have been swamped with work and personal responsibilities, leaving little time for each other. A secluded cabin in the woods seemed like the perfect escape. No distractions, no obligations, just the two of them reconnecting. But what started as a dream retreat quickly turned into a nightmare when unforeseen circumstances turned their peaceful trip into a fight for survival. The perfect plan. Liz had meticulously planned every detail. She booked a charming rustic cabin nestled deep in the forest, far from the noise of the city. Lucky, always the spontaneous one, trusted her judgment and was just happy to spend time away from their hectic lives. They packed light warm clothes, some groceries, a couple of books, and a bottle of wine to celebrate their first night. The drive was scenic, with winding roads cutting through dense trees and the occasional glimpse of wildlife. The air smelled fresh, a stark contrast to the polluted city they had left behind. By the time they arrived at the cabin, the sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the wooden structure. It was even more beautiful than the pictures. Cozy, private, and surrounded by nature. The first signs of trouble. Their first evening was perfect. They lit a fire in the stone fireplace, shared the wine, and laughed over old memories. But as night fell, strange noises began echoing from the woods. At first, they dismissed them as animals, perhaps a raccoon or an owl. But the sounds grew louder, more deliberate. Lucky, ever the skeptic, grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside to investigate. The beam of light cut through the darkness, revealing nothing but trees swaying in the wind. Just as he was about to go back inside, something moved in the shadows. A low growl sent chills down his spine. "Liz," he called, trying to keep his voice steady. "We might have a problem." The storm hits. Before they could process the strange encounter, the weather took a drastic turn. The clear night sky was suddenly swallowed by thick rolling clouds. Thunder rumbled in the distance, and within minutes, rain poured down in sheets. The wind howled, rattling the windows and shaking the cabin's foundation. Then the power went out. Darkness engulfed them, broken only by the occasional flash of lightning. Liz fumbled for the candles she had packed, while Lucky tried to get a signal on his phone. No luck. They were completely cut off from the outside world. The intruder. As the storm raged outside, another sound caught their attention: footsteps on the porch. Heavy, deliberate. Someone or something was out there. Liz's breath hitched. "Did you hear that?" Lucky grabbed the fireplace poker, his grip tight. The doorknob rattled. Then a loud bang as something slammed against the door. Liz screamed. Lucky braced himself, ready to fight. The door burst open and a figure stumbled inside, soaked, bleeding, and wild-eyed. "Help me," the stranger gasped before collapsing onto the floor. A desperate plea. Liz hesitated, torn between fear and compassion. Lucky kept his weapon raised, unsure if this was a trick. The stranger groaned, clutching a deep wound on his side. "Please, they're after me," he whispered. "Who's after you?" Liz demanded. Before he could answer, another noise came from outside. Multiple footsteps this time, moving fast. Lucky made a split-second decision. He dragged the stranger inside and barricaded the door. Whatever was happening, they were now part of it. The hunt begins. The next few hours were a blur of terror. Shadowy figures circled the cabin, their whispers barely audible over the storm. The stranger, barely conscious, muttered warnings about them before passing out. Liz and Lucky had no weapons, no way to call for help, and no idea who or what was hunting them. The only thing they knew was that they had to survive until morning. The escape. As dawn approached, the attackers retreated into the woods. Seizing the opportunity, Liz and Lucky carried the injured stranger to their car and sped away, not looking back. Liz and Lucky's weekend getaway goes wrong. Introduction. Liz and Lucky had been looking forward to their romantic weekend getaway for weeks. Both had been swamped with work and personal responsibilities, leaving little time for each other. A secluded cabin in the woods seemed like the perfect escape. No distractions, no obligations, just the two of them reconnecting. But what started as a dream retreat quickly turned into a nightmare when unforeseen circumstances turned their peaceful trip into a fight for survival. The perfect plan. Liz had meticulously planned every detail. She booked a charming rustic cabin nestled deep in the forest, far from the noise of the city. Lucky, always the spontaneous one, trusted her judgment and was just happy to spend time away from their hectic lives. They packed light warm clothes, some groceries, a couple of books, and a bottle of wine to celebrate their first night. The drive was scenic, with winding roads cutting through dense trees and the occasional glimpse of wildlife. The air smelled fresh, a stark contrast to the polluted city they had left behind. By the time they arrived at the cabin, the sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the wooden structure. It was even more beautiful than the pictures. Cozy, private, and surrounded by nature. The first signs of trouble. Their first evening was perfect. They lit a fire in the stone fireplace, shared the wine, and laughed over old memories. But as night fell, strange noises began echoing from the woods. At first, they dismissed them as animals, perhaps a raccoon or an owl. But the sounds grew louder, more deliberate. Lucky, ever the skeptic, grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside to investigate. The beam of light cut through the darkness, revealing nothing but trees swaying in the wind. Just as he was about to go back inside, something moved in the shadows. A low growl sent chills down his spine. "Liz," he called, trying to keep his voice steady. "We might have a problem." The storm hits. Before they could process the strange encounter, the weather took a drastic turn. The clear night sky was suddenly swallowed by thick rolling clouds. Thunder rumbled in the distance, and within minutes, rain poured down in sheets. The wind howled, rattling the windows and shaking the cabin's foundation. Then the power went out. Darkness engulfed them, broken only by the occasional flash of lightning. Liz fumbled for the candles she had packed, while Lucky tried to get a signal on his phone. No luck. They were completely cut off from the outside world. The intruder. As the storm raged outside, another sound caught their attention: footsteps on the porch. Heavy, deliberate. Someone or something was out there. Liz's breath hitched. "Did you hear that?" Lucky grabbed the fireplace poker, his grip tight. The doorknob rattled. Then a loud bang as something slammed against the door. Liz screamed. Lucky braced himself, ready to fight. The door burst open and a figure stumbled inside, soaked, bleeding, and wild-eyed. "Help me!" the stranger gasped before collapsing onto the floor. A desperate plea. Liz hesitated, torn between fear and compassion. Lucky kept his weapon raised, unsure if this was a trick. The stranger groaned, clutching a deep wound on his side. "Please, they're after me," he whispered. "Who's after you?" Liz demanded. Before he could answer, another noise came from outside. Multiple footsteps this time, moving fast. Lucky made a split-second decision. He dragged the stranger inside and barricaded the door. Whatever was happening, they were now part of it. The hunt begins. The next few hours were a blur of terror. Shadowy figures circled the cabin, their whispers barely audible over the storm. The stranger, barely conscious, muttered warnings about them before passing out. Liz and Lucky had no weapons, no way to call for help, and no idea who or what was hunting them. The only thing they knew was that they had to survive until morning. The escape. As dawn approached, the attackers retreated into the woods. Seizing the opportunity, Liz and Lucky carried the injured stranger to their car and sped away, not looking back. When they finally reached civilization, the stranger vanished from the hospital before they could get answers. The police dismissed their story, blaming wild animals or their imaginations. But Liz and Lucky knew the truth. Something unnatural had been in those woods. Conclusion. Their weekend getaway, meant to be a peaceful retreat, had turned into a nightmare. Though they escaped with their lives, the experience left them forever changed. Some places they realized are better left unexplored. And as for the stranger, they never saw him again. But sometimes in the dead of night, Liz still hears whispers in the wind, a chilling reminder that their ordeal may not truly be over. In the high-stakes world of Port Charles, where danger lurks around every corner and loyalties are constantly tested. Few characters embody self-sacrifice as profoundly as Jason Morgan. A man of few words but unwavering action, Jason has spent his life protecting those he loves, often at great personal cost. When Jocelyn Jacks, the spirited and fiercely independent daughter of Carly Corinthos and the late Jacks, finds herself in mortal peril, Jason does the unthinkable. He offers himself up in exchange for her safety. This pivotal moment is not just a testament to Jason's unyielding sense of duty, but also a reflection of the deep, almost familial bond he shares with Jocelyn. To understand the gravity of this sacrifice, we must delve into the history between these characters, the circumstances leading to this life-or-death decision, and the emotional fallout that follows. The bond between Jason and Jocelyn. Jason Morgan has long been a protector, first as an enforcer for Sonny Corinthos' organization, then as a man constantly battling threats to his family. Though not related by blood, Jason has always viewed Carly's children as his own, given their decades-long friendship. Jocelyn, in particular, holds a special place in his heart. Unlike her older brother Michael, who has had a complicated relationship with Jason due to past betrayals, Jocelyn has always seen Jason as a steadfast guardian. From the time she was a child, Jason has intervened in moments of crisis, whether it was shielding her from mob violence, offering silent support during family turmoil, or stepping in when her safety was at risk. Their dynamic is one of mutual respect. Jocelyn, now a young adult, may chafe at being treated as just a kid, but deep down, she knows Jason's actions come from a place of love. The setup. How Jocelyn ends up in danger. The chain of events leading to Jocelyn's abduction or capture depends on the larger storyline, but in typical soap opera fashion, it likely involves a powerful enemy, perhaps a vengeful mobster like Cyrus Renaud, or a new antagonist, who sees Jocelyn as leverage against Sonny or Carly. A case of mistaken identity. Jocelyn might have been targeted accidentally, caught in the crossfire of a rival's scheme. Her own recklessness. Always bold, Jocelyn may have inserted herself into a dangerous situation, underestimating the threat. Regardless of how it happens, Jocelyn is taken, and the kidnappers make their demands clear. They want Jason Morgan. Whether it's payback for past actions or a strategic move to weaken Sonny's organization, they know Jason is the one person who won't hesitate to walk into a trap if it means saving someone he loves. Jason's decision. Walking into the fire. When Jason receives the message, a chilling call, a video of Jocelyn bound and terrified, or a coldly worded ultimatum, his reaction is immediate. There is no hesitation, no second-guessing. He doesn't consult Sonny or Carly. He doesn't call the police. Jason operates on instinct, and his instinct is always to protect. This moment is a defining one for his character. Jason has faced death countless times, but this is different. He isn't walking into a shootout where he might have the upper hand. He's surrendering himself, fully aware that his chances of survival are slim. The emotional weight lies in his quiet acceptance. No grand speeches, just a resigned determination. The exchange, a tense standoff. The scene where Jason trades himself for Jocelyn is ripe with tension. Picture a dimly lit warehouse, a deserted dock, or an isolated compound. Any setting that heightens the sense of danger. The kidnappers, armed and wary, keep Jocelyn restrained as Jason approaches alone, hands raised in surrender. Jocelyn, bruised but defiant, protests. Jason, no. Don't do this. But Jason's expression doesn't change. He locks eyes with her, silently conveying that this isn't up for debate. When the captors push Jocelyn forward, Jason steps into their grasp without resistance. The moment she's clear, the trap closes. Guns are drawn, Jason is seized, and Jocelyn is forced to watch as the man who has always protected her is taken away. The aftermath. Emotional fallout. Jocelyn's guilt. Despite her relief at being free, Jocelyn is consumed by guilt. She may blame herself for not being more careful or for not stopping Jason. Her relationship with Carly and others becomes strained as she grapples with helplessness. Carly's anguish. Carly, who has relied on Jason for decades, is devastated. She may lash out at Sonny, the PCPD, or even herself for not preventing this. Sonny's ruthlessness. If Sonny is in power, he will stop at nothing to get Jason back, even if it means war. Jason's fate. Is he tortured? Held for ransom? Used as a pawn in a larger game? The uncertainty drives the next phase of the story. Themes and impact. This storyline reinforces classic soap opera themes. Sacrifice. Jason's willingness to die for Jocelyn underscores his role as a tragic hero. Family versus blood. Though not related, Jason's bond with Carly's children is stronger than many blood ties. Consequences of a dangerous life. The mob world always exacts a price, and this time, it's Jason who pays it. Conclusion. Jason trading himself in for Jocelyn is more than just a dramatic plot twist. It's a character-defining moment that reverberates through Port Charles. It tests loyalties, exposes vulnerabilities, and sets the stage for an intense rescue mission. Whether Jason survives or becomes a martyr, his sacrifice cements his legacy as the man who would give everything for family. Isaiah sizzles Lucky's romantic proposition. Brick's fiery lead. The late afternoon sun beat down on the streets of Port Charles, casting golden light on the bustling sidewalks. It was a day filled with intrigue, passion, and unexpected twists, as three men, Isaiah, Lucky, and Brick, each found themselves at the center of their own unfolding drama. Isaiah sizzles. Isaiah Calloway strode into the Metro Court's rooftop lounge, exuding an effortless confidence that turned heads. With his sharp suit and piercing gaze, he was a man used to commanding attention. His return to Port Charles had not gone unnoticed, and whispers of his latest business ventures were already making waves in the corporate world. But Isaiah's mind wasn't on business. It was on the woman sitting across the bar, sipping a martini with an air of quiet strength. Her name was Naomi Sinclair, an investigative journalist with a penchant for uncovering the truth, and she was exactly the kind of challenge Isaiah relished. He approached with a smirk. "Didn't anyone ever tell you that staring is impolite?" Naomi arched an eyebrow, unimpressed. "Didn't anyone ever tell you that confidence and arrogance are two different things?" He chuckled, appreciating her fire. "Touché. But let's not pretend we don't have a history, Naomi." Their past was complicated, a tangled web of passion, betrayal, and unresolved feelings. Isaiah had burned her once before, leaving town without warning just as things between them were heating up. Now he was back, and Naomi wasn't sure she was ready to be drawn into his orbit again. "Why are you here, Isaiah?" she asked, her voice guarded. "Business," he replied smoothly. "And maybe a little unfinished personal business." Naomi's heart pounded despite herself. She knew better than to trust Isaiah, but there was no denying the attraction that still sizzled between them. And Isaiah was never a man to walk away from a challenge. Lucky's romantic proposition. Meanwhile, across town at Kelly's diner, Lucky Spencer sat in a corner booth, nervously drumming his fingers on the table. He had always been a man of action, but when it came to matters of the heart, things were far more complicated. Elizabeth Weber entered the diner, looking as radiant as ever, and Lucky felt his breath catch. They had a long and tangled history, filled with love, heartbreak, and second chances. He had called her here today because he was ready to take another leap of faith. "Liz," he said as she slid into the seat across from him. "Thanks for coming." She smiled warmly. "Of course, Lucky. You sounded like you had something important to say." He took a deep breath. "I do. I know we've been through a lot, and I know we've hurt each other more times than I care to count. But I also know that I've never stopped loving you." Elizabeth's expression softened, but she remained cautious. "Lucky, let me finish," he interrupted gently. "I don't want to keep living in the past. I want to build a future with you. I know it won't be easy, and I know there are things we need to work through, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So I'm asking, will you give us another chance?" Elizabeth's heart warred with her mind. She had loved Lucky for so long, but was love enough? Could they truly move forward? Or would old wounds resurface to tear them apart again? The question hung in the air between them, full of hope and uncertainty. Brick's fiery lead. While Lucky waited for Elizabeth's answer, Brick was across town, knee-deep in a dangerous game of cat and mouse. As Sonny Corinthos' trusted associate, Brick had built a reputation as a man who got things done. And today he had uncovered a lead that could change everything. Standing in the shadows of an abandoned warehouse, Brick clutched his phone tightly. "Sonny, I've got something big. Talk to me." Sonny's voice came through the line, steady but laced with urgency. "There's a new player in town, Someone trying to move in on our territory. I've got a name, Santino Delgado.